This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. It's everybody's favorite time of the year. It's the time of the year. Hey, what's up, and welcome to Commentary, the show where I take your comments and react to them. Sometimes y'all have hot takes. I like to react to them. Make sure you comment on these videos below if you want to end up on the show. All right, this first video I'm taking comments from is from the film Breakdown, how DeShaun Watson and Jim Schwartz impressed me in their slow showing of the first team offense. Dale Stripes, as you mentioned, that our downhill defensive line scheme is more susceptible to QB runs. I instantly think of Lamar Jackson. What can Schwartz do against the Ravens to keep Lamar from running all over us? See, look, I don't think people have a great understanding of like the different styles of running that different quarterbacks do. What the Browns do when it comes to like this man downhill stuff and being aggressive, that's going to work fine against Lamar Jackson because Lamar is not really as much as a scrambler as he is as a design runner, right? Like if he is running, it's usually the design of the play to run the ball. He gets carries. He doesn't really get scrambles. So I'm not really worried about this with Lamar Jackson. I'm honestly more worried about the specific thing I mentioned hurting them where they're going to be a little bit aggressive on the defensive line and play more man on the back end with guys like Joe Burrow, Kenny Pickett. Like those are the guys who are a little bit more concerning because those are guys who stay in the pocket and will wait to see the defensive backs kind of turn and then scramble on them, right? It's not going to be the Justin Fields, the Lamar Jacksons, the design quarterback runners of the world that are going to kill you in this kind of defense. It's going to be the scramblers. It's going to be the guys who are just a little bit athletic that are going to kill you here because those are the guys the defensive backs tend to forget. Those are the guys that you don't really want to waste a linebacker on spying. Like that's where I think it's going to get you in this offense, not against somebody like Lamar where his ability to run is the first thing on your mind. Think about quarterbacks where their ability to run is like the third or fourth thing you think of when you think of them. Those are the guys that this offense, well, this defense is going to be susceptible to when it comes to scrambles because Lamar Jackson, like you're just going to be worried about that. You're not going to run that kind of plan against him and you're going to be aggressive on those runs anyway. But the scramblers, the guys that you think of third and fourth about their ability to move, that's who you're going to be worried about. The next comments come from winners and losers from joint practice. Just a thought, because I would love to see it, but should the Browns use DeJuan like the fridge and the Bears at the goal line play? I just think a guy that size would be extremely tough to stop. And when they run the ball at the goal line, they pull too much, just power forward. They pull because it works, to be fair. Like, that's what they do. That's what they do well. They're going to do what they do well at the line of scrimmage and at the goal line. And everybody pulls. Like if you want to power run it, then you might as well sneak it because linebackers can just run over top and win. The pull is how you win at the goal line. You want to create a mismatch at the goal line because the defense has the advantage there because they could just put 11 people in the box. So no, just going straight forward, you're putting 6 or 7 at best against 11. You're never going to win that battle just going straight forward. This isn't high school or even college. In the NFL, you got to create an even number. So you got to split the field in half and try to get 5-on-5 or 7-on-7 or 6-on-6 and even up the numbers in order to win if you want to run the ball on the line of scrimmage. So I disagree with that. The whole DeJuan Jones running the ball at the goal line thing, like the fridge. Look, the fridge was able to do that because he was a good ball carrier. I have no idea if DeJuan Jones is a good ball carrier. And what I mean by that is, yeah, running DeJuan Jones out there for a 1-yard run seems all fun and stuff until like he fumbles. Because just as much as he's a big dude and he can move a lot of things, he's also a giant dude, which means there's a lot of space, which means there's a lot of room for people to get that football out. pop it out, punch it out, smack it out. And you add on top that this is a dude who's an inexperienced ball carrier. So he's not going to be the best ball carrier in the world. It could be a disaster. And that's probably why they won't ever do it. It's one of those things that'll be fun to do on Madden because you don't got to worry about those things on Madden. But in real life, look, if DeJuan's not a natural ball carrier, then he going to fumble the ball more than he going to score touchdowns. And that's not, y'all would want to fire Kevin if he did that, right? Y'all, the same people advocate for this would want to fire him if DeJuan fumbled that ball, because that's more likely what's going to happen, or more than likely what's going to happen if DeJuan Jones is running the ball at the goal line set. It's a fun thing to think about. Stefanski needs to bring in DeJuan Jones as an extra tight end or a fullback in short yardage situations. DeJuan Jones isn't that great of a run blocker. That's where he struggled in the preseason, really. He kind of sucks right now as a run blocker. He's definitely not what he needs to be. So I would rather have James Hudson in there because James Hudson, one, he's a little bit more athletic. You could do more pulls with him, and he's just a better run blocker at this point. Again, the size isn't everything at the goal line or the short yardage situations, because if you cannot get to your spot in time, it does not matter how big you are. So I know we get excited because size usually matters a lot, especially high school and college when it comes to goal line situations. But in the NFL, these guys are already giant and they're already so fast. And if you aren't winning the battle on speed, it really don't matter how big you are because everybody's big in the NFL. The next comment comes from Should DTR be QB2? This video I did right before the game. And right here we say, and right here, Williker says, I feel like he's capable of being QB2 this season. Both DTR and Dobbs were in my preseason favorites of the team. Yes, Dobbs is more experienced, 2 starts, 8 games total, but DTR has better arm talent and is faster than Dobbs in terms of mobility and pocket awareness. I would say DTR has the advantage over Dobbs when it comes to pocket awareness and mobility. Dobbs clearly does have a stronger arm than DTR. I don't think a lot of us are being realistic with DTR's lack of arm strength. It's just not great, but he's been able to make up for it so far in the preseason. I think that's good. Not everybody has a strong arm. Some people can make up for it. But, yeah, Dobbs has a stronger arm than DTR. If you just watch him throw in person, DTR's arm's not what Dobbs is. He doesn't get the same spin off. But that's not a discredit to DTR. It's just I'm just telling you what tools he's actually working with. I think when we like a player, we tend to exaggerate and want them to have every tool in the book, even if they don't have it. And that's what's going on with DTR right now, is that people are kind of exaggerating what he does and doesn't have. And that's not the best thing for him, for DTR, because when you start exaggerating his tool set and he doesn't live up to that, then people are going to be angry about it, right? Let's be real with what DTR actually brings to the table. He's a good athlete, very smart player, great feet, does not have the strongest arm, but he's pretty accurate with what he has. That's what I would say with him. He's more accurate than Dobbs, but Dobbs definitely has a stronger arm. Philly Sid says, good video. Quincy, I have to disagree on one thing. Go back and look at his throws. He actually has a very good arm strength. He made some tough throws without the arm strength that would have been there on time. What sets him apart from other young QBs, helps him with his timing, mental process on the plays. It's a stark difference between him and the other QBs. One thing that gives me the most hope. Now, the arm strength isn't what you think it is. It's not. You can see his balls, like, they tend to go underthrown when he has to throw towards the numbers, especially deep. There was a one ball that he had like put both butt cheeks under and really tried to rip it, and it went like 5 or 6 yards underthrown, and that's fine. Like, a lot of guys stay in the league for a very long time that don't have great arm strength. Colt McCoy was one of those guys, and I think he's kind of a modern day version of a Colt McCoy, right? Tough football player, a better athlete than Colt, but like the same caliber of athlete that Colt was at the time. So, like, the standards for athleticism at quarterback have gone up, and DTR is clearly more athletic than Colt McCoy. I'm not saying that they're equals athletically, but Colt for his time was a good athlete, and DTR is a good athlete for his time right now. So It's crazy to say that about Coke because he's still in the league, but he's no longer considered a great athlete. But yeah, DTR is kind of more similar like a Colt McCoy, a Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that same natural arm strength that you would love to see. He doesn't have the ability to throw off platform. He doesn't have the ability to get a little bit off with his feet or his timing, right? He has to kind of be well protected, have clean pockets, and then if he does, he can make some decent throws, especially if they're within that 10 to 20 yard range. And once you start trying to push the ball 40, 50 yards down the field, you start to see the weaknesses with his arm strength and what he doesn't have there. But when he's well within his range, he's a pretty accurate thrower of the ball. If he's throwing within 10 to 20 yards, he can put good zip on the ball and put it where it needs to. It's just if you ask him to throw long, like 50 yards, he ain't got that. And it's been shown on tape that he ain't got that, which is fine. A lot of guys don't got that. Find a way to make a career of it. I think DTR will find a way to make a career of it too, but we gotta be realistic with what he actually brings to the table. TM says, I totally agree with everything you said, Q, but I do want to see what DTR does for the rest of the preseason. So far, DTR is as good as advertised. AB was looking at the big picture in terms of break glass and clay some emergency. If Watson goes down, he's obviously going to make the team. I feel very comfortable with the QB room. Yeah, I would agree with that too. All right, let's talk about Cade York. This video is about Cade York missing kicks. Imagine 7408 says Browns need to get Mason Crosby out of retirement, put Cade York on the practice squad, have the old man teach him some things, and try again next preseason. How many times we gonna try? Like, real talk, man. How many times? I've never seen a team, or at least a fan base, because I don't even think the teams is dedicated. I've never seen a fan base so desperate for a kicker to work. I'm not about to sit here and wait for a kicker to develop for 3 years. He's a kicker, dog. Like, either you can do it or you can't. And if you can't do it here, maybe I hope you could do it somewhere else, but you ain't doing it here. It ain't happening. Let it go. What do you mean keep him on the practice squad for a whole year just to go through this shit again next preseason? No, just get rid of him and find a vet and stick with that. Or you ain't even got to find a vet. Just find somebody who could do the basics. It's really that simple. Cade York's not a franchise quarterback. Like, we don't got to wait 3 years for Cade York. We don't got to put him in the backup spot. Like, we talk about Cade York like people talk about Zach Wilson. Well, maybe we just got to wait it out with Cade York. And more people, especially watching this video, more people are more willing to be like, yeah, Zach Wilson, he's not good. That's a wrap on him, and give up on him before they're willing to give up on the kicker who ain't been good. I don't get it. Just let it go, man. Cade's not the guy. If he is for somebody else, dope. It was never happening here. It is what it is. Jason says, is nobody going to talk about how very well Borquez could be a problem for York? Literally everywhere he's gone, been the holder on field goals. The kicker's field goal percentage drops from 10-15% from the norm. Not really true. I looked into this because I kept hearing people blame Borquez on York missing his kicks, which, again, once we're talking about the holder, we're really trying to avoid talking about the kicker, right? If we're already talking about the holder, and honestly, if we ever have to talk about who's holding the damn kicks, then the kicker's got to go. And the truth is, yeah, Borquez had some issues holding the ball, but other kickers have been fine with Borquez as the holder, right? People point out Stephen Hoshka and Mason Crosby. Mason Crosby had a bad year, so uncharacteristic of him. No, he had a year that was more like 7 other years in his career. Wasn't even a career low for Mason Crosby, right? He had his percentages in the 70s for the bulk of his career, if you go back and actually look at it. So you can't blame that all on Borquez. And then with Stephen Hauschka, he had low percentages with his kicks, but that's because he was about to be kicked out. He was about to be ran out the league because he was just getting old. And then they replaced him with, I forget the name of their kicker now, but the guy who came in and Bass. Bass is the kicker now for the Bills, and he's been fine, and he was fine with Borquez. It's not Borquez. It's York. If it was Borquez, that would be the simplest fix in all of kicking. We would not be here talking about Cade York missing kicks for a year plus if it was the damn holder. They would have changed out the holder. It's not the holder. And again, once we're talking about the holder, you got to get rid of the kicker. There's no good reason to ever talk about the holder. There really isn't. Unless the holder is out there actively fumbling snaps, then I don't want to hear about the holder. And also, what real evidence do y'all got that it's actually the holder? Like, show me some bad holds. Are the holds bad on the kicks that Cade York's kicking? Because if you can't find a bad hold on any of these missed kicks from Cade York, then shut up about the holds. It's not the holder. It's not. Show me the bad hold. For everybody who says this shit, show me the bad hold. Don't tell me, oh, well, the percentages went. Show me the bad hold from Corey Bojorquez with Cade York that he missed in the preseason. Because that's what I'm talking about right now. The misses in the preseason. And if that's not because of the holds, then stop bringing this up. This don't make no sense. It's not the holds. It's Cade York. You're just avoiding the eventual reality that's Cade York. We can switch out the kicker. He's going to miss kicks. And we can switch out the holder. Cade York's going to miss the kick. And then what? Then what? You just cut a punter for no good reason. This next one's from Robert Anthony, who says DTR is Lamar Jackson 2.0. See, we got to stop doing this. DTR is cool. DTR is great. I'm glad the DTR looks good. But when we go this far with it, and maybe my man's joking. I'm going to just say my man's joking. But he's definitely going to make the thumbnail. But that's it for these hot takes. Y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Have a great day. Have a good night.